y'all might not like me on this one, but we need to keep our mouths closed. I'm talking about we always want to know what men think, how they feel, why they treat us a certain way. But when they are given the space, the time, the energy, and the platform to do so, we don't know how to listen. So if you can take one little moment out of your schedule to watch this video, I think it's a game changer for all of us. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Kiaundra Jackson Show. I am your host, Kiaundra Jackson, licensed marriage and family therapist here. Now, look, I don't mean to gather us as women, but somebody had to say it. I have been seeing so much online where I have been seeing relationship coaches and therapists and just men in general trying to share their heart, trying to share and give us some little behind the scenes sneak peeks of how men think, what we should be doing, and how we can just navigate this whole relationship space a whole lot easier. But before the men actually get the words out of their mouth, before the men actually get a chance to comment, the women are all up in the comments, in the sections, on all the things, just chit-chatting and missing the whole point. And I'm like, bruh, if we can just zip it, hear what they have to say, and if it's valid, implement those things, and maybe a whole bunch of us wouldn't be as single as we really are. But thank God, today I have an amazing guest that's going to help us break down all of the things. So thank goodness on here on YouTube, you can just listen and comment later because he gonna gather us like a rug. So my special guest for today is David Burrus. He is the man. Not only is he a solid voice, someone that I personally trust on this relationship journey, but also he is an international speaker. He just got back from Puerto Rico, the DR, somewhere, child, speaking and really helping people have a healthy relationship. And one thing that I really, really love about his journey is that he talks to the men just as much as he talks to the women. So it isn't a one-sided thing. And because he is a married man, he allows us to see the realness of what it takes to have a healthy, thriving relationship and marriage. The way that this man loves on his wife is beautiful. And I'm so here to be a part and to see their whole Black love journey. So without further ado, let me welcome David Burrus to the show. David, welcome to the Kiaundra Jackson Show. And to be honest with you, I am also a huge fan of your content. I know we've been connected for years on social media, and we just got the opportunity to actually meet in person not too long ago for the first time. Yeah. So that was cool, but also weird because we need to do better. But I just want to thank you for being here. Like, thank you for showing up for your girl, and we're gonna have a good conversation today.
I'm excited to be here. I told you off camera that you are one of the people I've been wanting to work with for years. So shout out to you. I get to do this with you.
That's so sweet. Look at David giving me all of the gas. Right. Okay, he be gassing me up, which I appreciate. People who really pour into me, and he definitely has been doing that lately. I'm so appreciative of. I can't even get into what has been happening, okay? But I'm so appreciative of how God has allowed us to connect and to stay connected. But we can get into this topic because it's been juicy on this whole entire episode because we kind of got on the women just a little bit in this episode because we've been acting right lately. I feel as though there are so many women who are single, people who are dating, and all, just in the relationship space, so to speak. And men are being left behind. I feel like the men's voices are being left. Like we're not hearing what the men have to say, and then we get mad when they don't do certain things. Like it's just, math is not mathing, right? And so I know for you, you have had a heart to kind of just pour into the women and allow them to hear what men have to say on particular topics. And so the first thing that really came into my mind that popped into my spirit was just emotional intelligence. Like when we think of emotional intelligence, we often think of like, sharing our thoughts and feelings, which is a part of it. But I also feel like women do not understand that from a man's perspective. So I would love for you to share more about what it entails from a men's perspective about what emotional intelligence is, and also how we can tap into that and catch the gems on what we need to catch so we won't miss it.
Yeah, I think for men, emotional intelligence for us is really the ability to find a safe place for our heart to land. It really starts there. So we use this word vulnerable, and we want men to be vulnerable. I think what we miss with that word is that word vulnerable means open to attack, right? So when someone is vulnerable, they are open to attack. And so you're asking a man who has been taught his whole life that he is to protect, to now put his guards down and be unprotected. So if you want the protector to show up unprotected, you, my dear, have to create a safe space for me to put the sword and shield down, knowing that what I'm going to avail to you and share with you will not come back to bite me 2 months down the road. If that makes sense. So we want to be vulnerable. We want to be open. We want to be available. But we've tried that before, and when we did it, our words came back as weapons against us in the future. So we all need to do better.
David, don't start on you can't start off.
No, it's facts.
Like that.
It's
you
facts.
You can't do that to us. You
it's
just
true.
jumped right in there. You didn't even let us tap into the water a little bit.
No, it's truth. But I want to get to truth so that we can get to healing and restoration in our relationship.
This is so good, because what I've been hearing a lot lately, especially from men, is that we tend to pour so much into the woman. Oh, we got to make sure she's safe. She feels vulnerable. She's open. She's this. She's the blah, blah, blah. All of these things. And we forget that men are also human, and they want some of the same exact things that we desire in relationships. So if we want vulnerability, we have to provide the space where vulnerability is okay. We want him to share his thoughts and his feelings with us, but we don't create the space for him to do so. And nobody wants their business out in the street. Nobody wants to be in a relationship, a marriage, a dating situation where you feel like you can't be open with your partner and that it isn't a safe space and it isn't home. And so I think women need to understand that you want your man to feel like he's home with you, and that's
right.
something that you won't be able to get anywhere else.
That's right. And I think a lot of women don't understand that for men, and I've kind of talked about this before, but home and house are not the same thing, right? So for us, we enjoy our house, but when a man has found the woman that he really loves and the one that he can be vulnerable with, she's home, right? He views her as home. So even for me, when I'm out and I don't have a lot of friends, but when I'm out, even by myself, and I say I'm going home, I'm not talking about my house. I'm talking about to my woman who has made me feel safe. So if you wonder why men don't come home, it's because they don't, in many cases, feel like they have a home to come to, right? There are a lot of men who spend a lot of time out. They get off work at 6 p.m. They don't get home until 8 p.m. So they're out burning gas because they don't feel like they really have a home to come to. And no man wants to be in a house that doesn't feel like a home. So your relationship, ladies, with your man, when that man is really in love, you really become home. And so now home is not necessarily a location as much as it's a place for my heart to feel safe. It's a place for my heart to land. And so we long for that. And at times it's challenging for us to have that. Can I say one last thing to that?
Oh, yes, please. Keep talking.
The other thing to consider is that men, when a man feels safe, he will open up. When he does not feel safe, he will close and shut down. And so we just want to feel safe. We want to feel safe and we want to feel secure. And how you handle what we give you teaches us how safe we can be with you.
That is so powerful. It reminds me of, especially with Black men, but it also reminds me of this over toxic masculinity that the world presents.
Yep.
And it really sucks that we don't allow men to have a safe space to be sensitive, to be gentle, to be vulnerable, and not call him a little B word, or not tell him he got to man up, or he's not doing this, or he's, not doing that. And it's like we as women want our men to be, I want him to be soft with me and gentle and vulnerable and sensitive. But the world is going to spit him out and chew him up and spit him out and do all of those things if he does that outwardly. And so it really is important, because the world has a perception of men, especially men of color or black men, that they can't be, soft because you're a little punk if you, show your soft side or vulnerable or tears or anything like that. But if he can come home to you, and you are literally being just everything that he needs that the world isn't able to offer him, I think that just creates a beautiful relationship. And again, that gives him something that he cannot get from another woman, right? And so he could be around all of the most beautiful women in the world. They can be having the best bodies, all the money, and all of the things, but you have something that they don't. And if we get that part, I think everything will change.
I'm going to show you something. I don't know if this will come up on the screen. I'm going to show you something. Y'all probably may not be able to see this, but this is a text from myself to my wife this morning at 10:18. And the text says, "You are the most beautiful woman in my world." That was today, right? And so that text came about. I just began to think about how my wife has helped me become me, right? We've been married 20 years. We met when we were 18 years old. So we started dating at 18. Been married 20 years, and she has literally, if you think about it, she has raised me. 18 years old, I'm now 48. I've known her longer than I have not. So she is the most beautiful woman to me because you have been with me through this journey of me becoming me. And she is now the safest place I could be and the safest place my heart can land. So I think some women must understand this thing too, that when you meet a man, he will not be everything that he needs to be until he's with you. There are some things that you want that he will not become until you have cultivated that in him. So sometimes we're frustrated that he is not emotive or he is not expressive. But ma'am, some of that is going to come because he's going to rub against your softness, and you're going to teach him how to do some of these things. And you have to be okay with that.
That's so good. One of the things that I honestly appreciate about you, especially as of lately, I don't know if you've been doing it, but I just feel as of lately, you have been showing your wife so much extra love and consideration and beautiful posts. And I'm just like, God, where's my husband? Because baby, he doesn't talk to me like this. He's supposed to be like this. Because if that ain't it. But it's been so beautiful to watch you just really show your love and adoration for her, and to have that be in a space and a time where we don't get to see that. We don't get to see the beautiful aspects of Black love. I think we often see the drama, the trauma, the issues of what's portrayed on social or the news, and we don't see healthy Black families. Not to say that y'all have been perfect, but just healthy, thriving, God-fearing, family units. I think we need to see more of that. So thank you for being an example. Thank you for allowing us to get a sneak peek into your marriage, into your life. And thank you for gathering us too, as you have just done, because it really is something that we need, especially if we desire to have a God-fearing relationship, but also just to have a man who is there and supportive of us. And so when you were talking, it really reminded me of being in a space where you are with a man who you can trust, who you're supposed to be with. That's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day.
That's a whole nother conversation. Yeah.
We're gonna have to do a part 2 on that, David. Yeah. There are just so many people who are just not even with the person that they're supposed to be with. Yeah. And that alone is the issue. Like, girl, get out of that marriage, get out of that relationship, because you're not even doing what God told you to do. Yeah. But nevertheless, I think the issue that a lot of women have is because life has been lifing and it's been ghetto for a lot of us, and we've had to take on a lot of the masculine roles or to be all of the things because we may be single or it's by circumstance. How do we put ourselves in a position to allow our partner to actually lead us for real?
Well, I think that starts with being with someone that you trust for real, right? I think you have to trust that person enough to say, I'm willing to help you lead. We often look at this word submission in marriage. That's a really catchy phrase and people run from that word. But submission, we often assume that submission is really taking of power. And submission is not a taking of power. Submission in marriage is really a receiving of covering. So when a wife submits to her husband, she's receiving covering, not losing power. And that's important to note. You can't, we're equal, right? And so you have to, number two, you got to be with someone who views you as an equal, right? If you're with someone, if a woman's with a man who he views her as less than, it won't ever be comfortable for her to follow his lead. The third thing that I think women, now this is key, and I want the 5 men who are listening to this. All 5.
It may be 6.
Okay.
Look, actually, let me do 7 because 6 is, we don't do 6 over here. We gonna do 7.
we do 7s. We don't do nothing with 6. I get you.
Nothing.
To the 10 men who are listening to this, I want to give you a cheat code that has really helped me become a better leader for my wife. There are 2 types of leaders. There are men who take the lead, and there are men who provide leadership. Anyone that is taking the lead, and we as men have been taught that we take the lead. And ladies, I really want you to hear this because you don't want a man who will take the lead. Taking is always rooted in domineering. Provision is always rooted in cherishing. So as men, we are to provide leadership as a service, not as a demand. So when I provide leadership for my wife, what I really am doing is I'm looking at who she is, where God is wanting to take her, and how God wants to do that in her. And I'm now partnering with God to serve her in leadership. And so provision, the word provide derived of 2 words. The word pro means before, vision means to see. So provision is really to see before. So as a man, I provide by seeing before. I need to see who she is before she becomes it, and then help her now lead her to that place God is showing me concerning her heart. So we as men don't take the lead. We provide leadership. And I think women, you've got to be mindful to be with a man who is courteous enough to provide leadership instead of making decisions without considering your heart. I just said a lot. I'm sorry.
Ooh, no, that's so good. You better break down provision, though. You better break it down.
You gotta break that. We got to understand what we're doing, right? You got to know what you're doing.
And as women, we want a man to know what he's doing. I've had so many conversations with my girlfriends, with just clients, and just people on social media, because a lot of us, and myself included, because y'all know I am currently single, but my husband is coming. He might be watching this right now, so if you're watching, hey baby.
He's one of the 10 that's watching. He's one of them.
One of the 10. Listen. Yeah. You better decree and declare it. You better speak like, you better prophesy.
Come on.
But in all seriousness, I do believe that allowing a man to take leadership and provide that leadership for us is what a lot of women are needing. And I'm saying that because the people that I talk to, we tired. We don't want to do all the leading. We don't want to do all of the things that we have to do. I cannot wait, David. I'm going to say, I cannot wait, David, for me to take off the Superwoman cape, lay it down and say, baby, you lead. Where we going? You make the decision. We can consult, we can converse, we can have a conversation. But I do not want to carry the load anymore. And I cannot wait to just follow.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to follow, knowing that he submitted to God, which means I can easily submit to him and trust his leading. Even though he may not be perfect, we can still recorrect, if things get out of line. But with God as the head, and then me submitting to my husband, it's going to be easy. So there are so many women who feel like they are ready to take that leap and to allow themselves to follow. So essentially, I know there's so many women who want to know, how do we determine if a man is worth following to begin with? Can you give us some nuggets on that before we have a little bit of fun and play a little game?
So it starts, first of all, with knowing I think one of the great mistakes that women and men make, for that matter, but women make, is that they are looking at him and looking at his characteristics and looking at who he is. But that it really starts with who you are. Let me give you an example. If you owned a company and you wanted to hire someone, you wouldn't look to them to tell you what the job description is. You create the job description that you are hiring for. So I think having the right person in your life doesn't start with their qualifications. It starts with your need. So you have to really know what you value. You have to know where you're going. You have to be intentional about who you are, so that you'll know when this person comes to your life, you don't align with who I am. So the right man doesn't start with the right man. The right man starts with the right woman. Starts with her knowing who she is, and knowing who is and is not right for her.
And tapping into making sure that you're discerning enough of those things, and you're not desperate because you want a husband so bad, you want kids so bad, you want companionship so bad that you're willing to let any fool into your life just to fill the space and to fill the void, knowing doggone well, again, that wasn't the person that you were supposed to be with.
That's right. That's right.
David, you done took me out of here, okay? You done took me out of here. This has been such a great conversation. Now, I know that there are going to be so many people who are like, who is this David dude? Where he been at all my life? How do I stay connected with him? So can you please tell the people, before we have a little fun and play a little game, how they can stay connected with you to tap into all of the amazing things that you have going on?
Yeah. So first of all, thank you for having me. This has been great. I've been wanting to work with my sister for years, so this has been good for me. Y'all, you can follow me on all social media platforms, primarily Instagram and Facebook. It's official David Burrus Global, Burrus. I am on YouTube as well, and I have a podcast as well called the Permissions Podcast. And I run an amazing community called Activate Nation, where I equip you for purpose and marriage, and that is www.theactivatenation.com.
I love it. Y'all hear that? Global. Okay, it's a global anointing over here. A global
That's right.
anointing.
That's right. That's right.
Oh my goodness. So are you ready to have a little fun? So I do not let anybody come on my show and we just be so serious and buttoned up and we can't laugh and have a good time. So we are going to play a quick game called This or That. Lightning speed. And what I am going to do is give you a set of 10 little questions.
Let's go.
You gotta tell me real fast which of the two things you prefer. Now, this is the lightning speed, David. So that means you cannot be taking forever to give your responses. And some of these are a little hard. I'm not even gonna lie. So go ahead and fix your beard, do whatever you need to do.
All right. Let's go.
Get yourself together, because it's gonna be fun. Are you ready?
Let's go.
You don't sound confident. I
said let's go.
So number one, remember, this is this or that. Rich and famous, or rich and unknown?
Rich and famous.
Wait. Okay, tell me why. This ain't even a part of the game, but I need to know.
I'm on mission to end divorce. I want divorce ended. And so the more people I can reach with this message of kingdom marriages, the more God can get the glory. So rich and famous, for sure.
That's a good answer.
Yeah.
Because I know some people will try to do it for the money.
No.
So they could be turned up, but you have a deeper purpose.
I need as many people to hear about marriage done the right way as possible.
I love that. Love it. Number two. And I'm laughing because I don't even know what you're going to say on this one. Bad breath or bad body odor?
Oh, no, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Choose ye this day. This or that.
I'm going to go bad breath.
Why? Why bad breath?
Because you don't have to talk to me. But I can't escape your presence. So we can have limited conversation, but if all of you is funky, I can't get around that.
Now that's hilarious. Number three, be embarrassed or be afraid?
I'll be embarrassed.
Really?
Yeah.
You're surprising me with these answers.
Yeah. I don't do fear. Yeah. Fear has kept me bound for so many years. I'd rather be embarrassed. I can overcome embarrassment. I cannot move forward with fear.
Whoop that is. Number 4, hang out with kids or hang out with the elderly?
Oh, with the elderly.
You don't fool with the kids?
I need wisdom. Them kids can't help me. I'm trying to get somewhere. Give me some old folks.
That's funny. Number 5, this should be an easy one. Tea or coffee?
Tea.
How do we vibe? I don't do coffee. I quit drinking coffee cold turkey years ago.
Tea.
I used to work at a job where I had to be at work at 6 a.m. This was years ago, pre-entrepreneur journey when I first graduated grad school. I just thrived off of coffee. And then I told God one day, I don't want to be addicted to anything. And so I just cold turkey stopped drinking coffee, and then I've been a tea girl ever since.
So you don't ever drink coffee ever?
I do not drink coffee. I haven't had coffee since like 2015.
Oh, you don't drink coffee. Okay.
I don't.
You don't do like coffee drinks, like cold drinks? Okay. Great.
Like caffeine. I might do a green tea if I need a little pick-me-up to get a little bit of caffeine, but outside of that, it's just, I don't want to be addicted to anything. So
I understand.
Caffeine can be addicting, and so I don't even want that in my body. I
love it.
The next one, number 6, photos or videos?
Videos.
I need a why for all of these at this point.
Yeah, videos. Why do you think videos? I think you get more out of someone's disposition, cadence, tone of voice than you do out of photos.
Why are you so wise? You're right.
I'm not.
You're so right. Number 7, logic or emotion?
Logic. I'm a man. All day. It's got to make sense.
He said I'm a man. Logic. It got to make sense here. We're not doing all these emotions.
Yeah.
Number 8, success or happiness?
Happiness.
Ooh, that was a little slow drag.
Yeah, that thing was slow. Happiness is success for me.
Okay, I agree with that. Because what is the point of having all the success if you're not happy?
That's right. Yeah.
That would be miserable, to be honest with you. Number 9, painful truth or a comforting lie?
Painful truth.
So you want to raw. Tell me. It's going to hurt my feelings.
It's going to hurt. Tell me the truth. Yeah, I need the truth.
You like me in that aspect. Like, even if it hurts my feelings, I'm like, be honest with me.
Yeah.
Be honest with me. Lying, I don't even know if I can come back from that. So be honest.
I can't. Yep.
And last but not least, because I know you are, what's the proper word? Fashionable. I know you can dress well. I know you're going to show up looking fly all the time. He literally changed his clothes before we got on here. So number 10, underdress or overdress?
Over. We don't ever underdress. It's always overdress.
Under.
No, we don't do anything under. It's always over. Always overdress. Yeah.
Overdress. I agree. Overdress is the plug. Yeah. David, thank you so much for playing a lightning speed round. I do a little extra on it, so it wasn't as lightning speed as we normally do it. But thank you for playing the lightning speed round of this or that and having a little bit of fun with me.
Yeah.
I love allowing people to get a little glimpse into kind of just your psyche and your mind. So not be so serious. So thank you for taking the time to rock with me today. I am so confident that all of the gems you dropped today and will continue to drop will change people's lives. And of course, you know I'm gonna have you back for part 2.
Please do.
Because we are not done working with each other. So thank you so much for being here. And I appreciate you. And we'll see you on the next episode.
Take care.
Woo! Man, look, is my edges still there? Because I feel like they got snatched off a little bit. I knew he was going to come with the heat and the fire, but I didn't know it was going to be this hot. Thank you so much, David, for breaking down all of the things that you broke down. Thank you for talking to us about vulnerability, about sensitivity, about emotional intelligence, and just about leadership and some of the things that we need to implement as women. If we just take a moment to be quiet, hear what the men have to say, because help us along on this journey. I just hope something that was said on this show really changes your perspective and helps you to see things from a completely different light. And hopefully you'll be able to implement some of the things that were said so you can be just as booed up like everybody else. So until next time, thank you for watching another episode of the Kiaundra Jackson Show, and I'll see you soon.